Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, today we are talking about non-food item. Something that is really important for anyone who is interested to stay healthy, to stay fit and well and happy and nourished and keep kicking ass. So we are talking about sleep, and specifically we are talking about one small sleep hack that I've started doing recently, based on a small piece of research that Matthew Walker, he likes to call himself PhD of sleep, shared with listeners on one of the podcasts that I came across recently. And I heard this piece of research some time ago, but only now I decided to take action and to try it out and see how it improves my sleep. Because guys, the better we sleep, the better we can perform during the day. So sleep is kind of like preparation for a successful day. So you may think that that your day starts in the morning, but it actually starts the night before, because we all know that state when we don't get enough sleep. We are cranky, we crave all kind of stuff that is not necessarily good for us. We are more hostile to people. We are not as enthusiastic about different projects, especially new ones, challenging ones. We're just not our best selves. Working out too, we don't get into our workouts with full power. We don't kick ass, so we just kind of like going through the motions, and that's what lack of sleep does to us. And it's also proven by studies that we don't learn that well, we don't remember things that well. Again, we're just not our best selves when we don't get enough sleep. And so the better we can sleep, the better we can show up for life during the day. So Matthew Walker, PhD of sleep, he has a TED Talk. Look it up. It's funny. It's smart. It gives you a lot of motivation and practical tips to start sleeping better. Anyhow, the piece of research that is also can be found in Matthew's book, Why We Sleep, that is, I think, national, maybe even international bestseller, Why We Sleep. So the piece of research, they try to change temperature of different body parts while people sleep. So they created those suits where they have those tubes, and they would run water through those tubes that were all along body in different parts, and they would change the temperature of that water, and that would change the temperature of that body part. So for example, sometimes they would make our feet warmer, sometimes they would make core warmer or colder, and then they would see how that's going to change, how that's going to affect sleep, the quality of sleep, and the duration of sleep, and how we feel after, our cognitive, our mental, physical performance. And so what they found was that when they made warmer feet and hands, basically our extremities, our body parts that at the end, so to speak. Anyhow, guys, so they made warmer feet specifically and hands, and that made our core temperature lower, and that made our sleep deeper and our deep sleep longer, and that allowed our body to recover better, our body and our brain. And so people would sleep better. Sometimes they would need less sleep, but they were definitely having better mental and physical performance when they were sleeping with warmer feet and hands, making core temperature lower. And so what I did based on this piece of research, that actually I tried because there is old Russian recipe. I was a little bit sick last week, beginning of this week. And my mom told me to do this old-fashioned recipe where you would put mustard powder into hot water, and you would put it into bigger container where you can soak your feet, and you do that for like 15-20 minutes right before going to bed. So we would do that in Russia. It's old Russian recipe tradition when we would get sick, and so I did that. It's also kind of like a spa treatment, so it's very pleasant. I would sit and either watch or listen to something and then go directly to sleep. So I would raise the temperature. The water should be really hot, like as hot as you can tolerate, with your feet being soaked in that water. So anyhow, I would do that feet bath and I would go to sleep. So basically I would raise the temperature of my feet and then I would go to bed. And what I realized after doing that, I would fall asleep much faster. I would sleep much deeper because it really felt like, you just go to bed and you wake up next morning and you had this one big chunk of sleep and you know that you never woke up. And I also was dreaming more and better and in more color, and I needed less sleep. And I recovered also quite fast this time, so maybe that has to do something to do with that. But the quality of my sleep, I'm doing that since that, so for a week, and the quality of my sleep improved. And why I know that? Because I wake up now 4:30, really easy, going to bed around 9, and I just feel like I really had enough sleep, like a lot of sleep. I just feel so much more refreshed, even compared to pretty good quality of sleep that I've been having before. So, and then I remembered about this study and I'm like, I am doing that. Not exactly in a way that they did that, but it still does the same thing. I heat up my feet and that makes my core colder. At least, for a while, then I would put on socks actually on my feet. That's how old Russian tradition says we should do it. So I would put socks on my feet and I would go to bed. And again, after that, I sleep like a baby, even maybe better than a baby. I have a lot of dreams. I wake up sleeping less, even if it's half an hour less, it's still less. And I'm feeling really great and refreshed. And I'm just kicking ass the day after. So what am I proposing you to do? If you want to improve the quality of your sleep, and that will translate into better performance and kick-ass experience during your day, or if you are having troubles falling asleep or staying asleep, then try that. I'm not sure if mustard powder is really necessary. It might be just hot water. Maybe you would put some aroma things, maybe herbs, maybe lavender, maybe something else, whatever it is, you want to put there. But hot water, as hot as you can tolerate. So some sort of small bath, kind of like a big pan, but for your feet, smaller bath. You fill it with hot water. You cover yourself with warm blanket. You get really, really hot, but your feet, especially, they're soaked in water for 15-20 minutes. And then you put your socks on and you go right to bed. So that's what you do. And then see how the quality of your sleep changes. So that's what I propose you to do. But it seems that it's working, and there are studies confirming that it should be working. So try it out and let me know how it goes. And again, with the quality of sleep, with better quality of sleep, everything is going to improve. You're going to have less cravings. You're going to have more energy. I feel more motivated to improve your habits for healthier ones. You're going to feel more motivated to challenge yourself and go get out there, kick ass, and have one awesome life experience. So that's it for today. mainly, I also wanted to share with you one cool thing that I started doing. I started doing it yesterday. I was thinking about that for a couple of days and then I started it. So before, as a part of my mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. As a part of that mission, guys, I shared with you at some point that I started to work with some supermarkets, helping them to present their offerings so they help us to make better, easier, healthier choices. My strategy was to go to those bigger supermarket chains and supermarkets, regular ones, and propose them these collaborations, these projects to improve labels or how they stack their shelves with different offerings. And it was working a bit, but not really. And so then I'm like, why am I going for these bigger players? They would probably not listen to me unless I have some proof under my belt. And so to get that proof, I probably should go to smaller places, not chains that have to get approval from, like a boss or the head office. So instead, I would go to smaller supermarkets, the ones that also are already seeking to present healthier produce and help people to make better, healthier choices. So I would go to those stores and work with customers, answer questions to figure out what people are confused about, what people are looking for in those stores. Also, I would try my pilot project with labels, helping to create in-store labels to help you guys to make better choices much, much easier without having to learn all this nutrition stuff. And I started approaching those small stores and I got so much more response. And yesterday I went to one of those stores and for a couple of hours, peak hours, I was working with customers, answering their questions like things, people would ask me, I have high blood sugar, like what are the best foods to choose? What should I avoid? What will help me to maintain my blood sugar? Or another person would have problem with their pancreas. And there was a woman and she asked me like, what kind of food should I eat or should I avoid? How can I make it better? And there were different questions about low carb options, like what is low carb? What foods can I eat now if I'm trying to go low carb? And then also I would ask people why people want to do that. And it was a great learning experience. And also the owners of the store, they were really excited about my labeling project because people do come to their shop assistants and ask them about, what are the best foods for different conditions, or what are like gluten-free or dairy-free or like sugar-free, all these different questions. And shop assistants don't always know the answers, or customers wouldn't ask. They would just get confused with all these variety of offerings, and nobody has the time to read all the labels, all the fine print, like this has this or this is free from that. People want the choices they want to make to be easier and more apparent, more obvious. So that's what we're going to be working on. So next week, that pilot, I'm going to work on it and we're going to put it in place and see how the customers love or don't love it, what's kind of feedback going to be. And based on that project, on the data that I get, I'm going to improve the project, my proposal to bigger supermarket chains, and I would go to other stores to make more experiments. And so based on that, I will create something like a system to roll out in bigger supermarket chains, already having data from actual experience, from actual tests to support what I'm talking about, what I think is the right thing for them to do. So that's a new thing I'm doing. I'm really excited about that. And besides that, I'm also going to different cities right now in Russia until the borders are fully open to give talks, not just in some bigger events that I was trying to reach. No, I'm just going to go and talk to interested people wherever, no matter what city, country, and just talk about better eating, nutrition choices in a way that I believe is the most useful. people. So I believe the most useful way is to ask people what they want to improve, what's important to them, and then based on that, I will give them a very practical advice how through food and some lifestyle choices they can get closer to that goal. So I'm not going to be talking about how much vitamin D is in some UVB exposed mushrooms, because a lot of people like, okay, vitamin D, I need it. Why do I need it? What problem it's going to solve in my life? So a lot of people don't have that connection. So I'm not going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about things that are important to you guys and how you can solve it with nutrition and lifestyle choices. So that's what's happening. I wanted to share it with you. And I guess I wanted to share it with you because, guys, if you have a vision, if you're one of those people who have a vision, a mission, an idea that doesn't exist yet, it's your job to figure out how. And nobody knows how, and you don't know how. That's why it's new. That's why it's something that doesn't exist. It's your idea. It's your job to figure out how. Nobody can tell you how. If it was there already, it wouldn't be new. So it's a lot of stumbling and trying things and figuring out a better way. But if you believe that is worth pursuing, that is something that can improve the world, the life of people around you in the world, that is the way you want to serve and, do something meaningful in this life, then get after that. But it is not going to be an easy road. By default, it's something new. It doesn't exist yet. It's like clearing the path in the forest. It's not easy. You have to go with your machete and cut, the trees and get through all this jungle. And then there is a path. If it was, again, an easy path, everybody would be already there, going there, and you wouldn't have to work on this idea. So it's your job to make it happen, and it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be fun, guys. It is going to be fun. Trying, failing, and trying again, and figuring the way out. And once you figure the way out, that's just awesome. You just created something that wasn't there and you made the world better. Even if it's in a smaller way, smaller scale, that's how everything big starts. It starts with small, with changing a life of just one person. So that's about it, what I wanted to share with you today, guys. So try this sleep experiment. Soak your feet in some hot water, maybe with mustard powder, maybe without, maybe with some herbs, 15-20 minutes. Hot water, as hot as you can tolerate, right before bed. Then put your socks on, something that is comfortable, not restricting the blood flow. Go to bed and see how your sleep changes. Sleep is where your awesome day starts. Besides that, guys, share this episode with one other person. Together we'll learn better. Maybe, soak up your feet with your whole family or your roommates. I think that's going to be a fun experience. So anyhow, share this episode with one other person, maybe the whole family, whole bunch of friends. Do it together and share your experience. Again, together, everything is better. We learn better. We are more motivated to keep going. And it's just more awesome. So share, try it, and get after it. So thank you guys for listening. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.